Yeah, baby, money ain't a thing. All the fine bitches with us. Cause we got it going on. Coming through your hood like a wrecking ball, tied to the end of a comment like a G, cause we take it off. 9 times out of 9, I'ma break you off. If you have an itch, don't worry, I got cortisone. I'm a real player, I was born to bone. Put down the phone, come to my home, and we can have a good time on my couch.
This 4th of July weekend, prepare to get annihilated as Bass Pro Shops and Walmart proudly present Mega Monster Truck Rally at the Citrus Bowl, featuring all your favorite trucks: Demon Seed, Ballbuster, Gunchoven, and don't miss the 2nd annual Barbecue Twinkie Cook-Off. Tickets are just $10. The first 100 people in the gate get a can of Natural Light. Tickets available at Ticketmaster or Sunny's barbecue locations in Orlando. Sunday! This 4th of July weekend, be here or be queer.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Alright, you talk about nasty. This is the backside of the port side aft cushion. Total destruction. Just disgustingly rotted out. Half-inch thick wooden board that's 30 years old, been sitting out in the weather for 30 years. And it's just disintegrated. Completely useless. Just for future reference, if you're going to be using anything on your boat renovation projects, try to stay away from wood. Now, I like this trim stuff here. I do have to varnish that pretty much once a year, if not more often. Stain and varnish, oil-based polyurethane. And this is, you know, it's an accent piece, really, but that's an exception. Anyway, when we get back to work, just want to show you how nasty the disintegration of this wood backing really was, and it was pretty nasty. So I want to make a mess and try to clean it up. It is definitely beer 30. Alright, so here we are. Everything's pulled out relatively clean. And I've got these cushions here, which I don't know if you can see in the camera. These are the original cushions, and I've got over here the PVC platforms that I'm going to insert into here. However, the cut is not quite accurate. I took some rough measurements. Again, I had to take the PVC home and cut it there, and I'll have to do that again. Rather than measuring it out, which surprisingly is not as accurate as you might think, what we're going to do, the easiest and most accurate way, of course, is to trace an outline from the old nasty ass original seats onto the new, clean, modern, inexpensive, efficient, weather-proof PVC. And so I'm going to get to work on that as soon as I finish drinking some of this delicious Mickey's Big Mouth. Now, the fun thing about Mickey's Big Mouth is that they have a puzzle on the cap of every drink, and I've only got it right one time. Never before figured it out. I don't know what the fuck they were talking about. Hay, a needle in a haystack, maybe? Haystack, hay, ball, olive, hay, hay baller, hay baller. I got nothing. Hay baller, hay ringer, hay baller, hay baler, hay. No fucking. Anyway, it's fun. I got it right one time in my life. I'm drinking a lot of these. So when I got to the point where I was getting close to being able to purchase a boat like this, which I knew was going to be a project, a big project, but an enjoyable one, hopefully. You know, I talked to other boaters. That's the great thing, is boaters will give you all the free information you need. So I talked to some boaters who were do-it-yourselfers, two different kinds of people. Do-it-yourself for sailboats. They are the kind of people who they're planning to sail the world, solar power, you know, all that good stuff. Their boat is moored not far from here. And I asked them, should I do it? I was like, I don't know. Am I crazy? What am I thinking? But I really want to do it. And I asked them if I should do it. And they said, hell yes, of course you should. Yeah, do it. Absolutely. Do it now. Do it sooner rather than later. And so I took their advice and I did. And I'm happy about it. However, once I got into this and started learning things and acquiring some insight, I started talking to other boaters after having gotten into it. And specifically I was getting into these boating group chat rooms where you exchange information and chat and show off and blah blah blah. And that's where I'd noticed the two distinct kinds of boaters. There were those do-it-yourselfers, the cash-only types, who we know when they go on a boat, they bring their cash, drop the cash, and take home a boat. Or a title, as the case may be. And the other type of boater that I noticed in these two very distinct categories were your so-called affluent boaters who had to, you know, either work a, you know, slave away at some lifetime job or inherit money, which generally is the case. You don't necessarily have to inherit money, inherit privilege. It doesn't have to come in the form of cash, but it will eventually come in the form of cash. But those kind of guys were the check writers, and they were the ones that they would say to me, quote unquote, you can't get into boating unless you got $100K in the bank ready to blow. 100,000 expendable cash. It was to the extent that several guys were suggesting that you shouldn't even buy a boat unless you could get a loan for the $100,000 worth of equity, put that into the stock market, and then get out a loan and put the loaned money, which you're paying interest on, into the stock market. Fairly risky, but who knows. And then use the equity on the stock market or something to take out yet another loan or something like that for the boat. And the boat was your equity, which boats sink. You know, I thought that was kind of weird. Anyway, so that's the two different types that you run into. And they basically were saying, no, you cannot do something like this unless you're one of us. Unless you're a guy that's got 100K minimum in the bank that you're willing to blow. Minimum. And I had $2,500 and got into this project. And the boat and the parts and the maintenance is not the cheap part. The storage is really the biggest expense. That's where I spent the most money. Slip fees. But a project just like this just goes to show you, if you're a check writer, you call some guy in, he says $1,300 to rebuild this ship. Alright? So what you're looking at is $230, plus I got tables I would do. I was just going to get cushions I would do for $1,300. So, like my buddy Doug right across the way said, you know, if you buy a $2,500 boat, which is a 37-foot twin-engine boat, liverboard for $2,500, you're not going to put a diamond ring or a diamond necklace on a pig. And, you know. So, point being, you don't have to be rich to do this. I am definitely not rich. I'm definitely not even close to it. Never been close to it. And I probably never will, but you never know. But this is an exorbitant, extravagant lifestyle that I am DIYing on a budget. And that's why you have tuned into this video, the Daily Pogo. Now I gotta go kill a wasp. Ah, damn. Yes, murder hornet. Y'all have a lovely day. I'm gonna go for a swim or something.
Coming through your hood like a wrecking ball, tied to the end of a comment like a G, cause we take it off. 9 times out of 9, I'ma break you off. If you have an itch, don't worry, I got cortisone. I'm a real player, I was born to bone. Put down the phone, come to my home, and we can have a good time on my couch with my dick in your mouth, bitch. Don't take it out. Come with me now.